Welcome back to the Wealthy Cowboy Show. Today, I want to give you the success formula I wish I knew when I was 25. So I'm 33 now, and I started this show and all this stuff to kind of speak to the person I used to be. And that may not be age. You may be 45 and think like I thought in my 20s. But it was not long-term thinking. It was day by day, week by week. All I knew was if I needed more money, I needed more work, I needed more output. And I didn't know anything about money. I didn't know anything about success or what I wanted to do with my life, really. Like I said, it was very short-term. Then I started getting into this whole personal development thing and listening to podcasts, and which led to reading books and just changed my whole way of thinking. And that led me into some different industries. I guess the big industry would be sales, but it was selling some different things to try to get ahead. One thing that was kind of a myth that a lot of people are sold when they're trying to get sold into something, into an MLM, into an industry, into an investment, something like that. People talk about, or people kind of sell or make people think, or maybe they think on their own that it's going to be an overnight success. That's kind of what I thought. You know, I got into insurance and I was looking at these people and what they were telling me and what they were doing. And I'm like, man, I ought to be able to make, 10 grand a week with this deal or something like that. You know, here's the formula. It's easy math. I talk to this many people. I get this many sales. I get this much commission. And that was kind of a myth. Once you get good at it, once you hone your skills and you figure things out, maybe so. But the myth is it's going to be quick. It's a get-rich-quick deal. But really the thing that provides success is long-term consistency. This is in personal finance and sales and health and wellness. Everybody wants that quick, easy fix, quick, easy money. They want to lose weight quick. They want to, go to the gym and start looking jacked, wonder why they don't have these results overnight. And really the thing is long-term consistency. You need to look on a longer time horizon. Is this, you want to do the daily habits and then just not even think about the results. Just become obsessed with doing the daily habits and look at the long-term goal. The long-term goal is freedom. The long-term goal is wealth. The long-term goal is health. The long-term goal is happiness. And are these daily habits, if I keep doing this every day, am I going to get closer to those goals? You really have to look at that. You have to fall in love with the journey. And it's when you're starting out, it's like you think it's never going to happen, and then all of a sudden you're going to look up and you're going to have came leaps and bounds from where you started. So not being naive, I guess. One of my first things I learned was not being naive I was naive to the overnight success, to the get rich quick, when really the game is long-term consistency. These people that you're seeing are on level 10 and you're starting at level 1. So being realistic about that, not being naive. One thing that's another big thing is everybody talks about hustle and hard work and all these things and doing a lot of action, which is huge. You've got to do that to build something. But you also want to incorporate focus and clarity into those things and really make sure you're working hard on the right things. If you're working really hard at being the best ditch digger with the shovel, I don't know that you're really going to get very far in life. If you're working really hard on mastering AI, mastering technology, mastering social media, mastering marketing, mastering sales, mastering a trade, electrician or plumber or something like that, or mastering really anything like that anymore, you can have a lot of success with a big upside if you're measuring that in dollars. There's a lot of money in those things, but one thing that you're kind of told is everybody says hard work and nobody wants to work anymore and blah blah blah. And if you do work hard on the wrong things, I mean, yeah, you're gonna be successful in that thing. But what's the upside? What's the cap? If you're working on something with a cap, that didn't appeal to me much. If you get in the right industries, it's how hard do you want to work. If you focus and that's all you focus on, and you're consistent about it, and you're clear about it, and you got clarity about it, the sky's the limit. But if you're doing that in the wrong industry, in the wrong job, in the wrong career, on the wrong things, you're going to hit a ceiling at some point. So make sure you're hustling and you're working hard on the right things. This is a huge one that it took me a little while to learn, but mentorship, finding somebody that's ahead of you in life, in your business, and whatever it is you're wanting to pursue, finding somebody that's ahead of you. And it doesn't matter if it's a couple steps ahead of you, or 10 steps ahead of you, or 20 steps, and maybe a blend of those people. Maybe you get several mentors, but mentorship is huge. It's going to save you so much headache on your path. Those people have already been through all of the mistakes that you're going to make. They can help you avoid them. They already know how to get you there 10 times faster and with less headache and less stress. And then what happens is, if you have that mentor, they're able to fast track you to success, to that goal, whatever you're trying to do. And then you can usually surpass that mentor and then you go find another one that's bigger. But they're gonna fast track you so much to cut out all the little mistakes that you would have made. You're gonna catch up to them. If you put in the right work and you focus and you're clear, you're gonna catch up to them, and that allows you to then surpass them. And then you go find a new mentor. But mentorship and learning from their failures, that's a huge one in anything you're wanting to do, whether that's sports related, business related, life related, marriage related, anything. Having a mentor is huge. Whether you got to pay for it or you just find somebody that's willing to talk to you for free, or maybe you buy them lunch or whatever it is. And I wanted to give y'all some habits I wish I had started earlier, at 25 or in my 20s. One of those things, kind of a non-negotiable for me, I would say, is learning something every day. Like I've talked about before, is I try to work out every day. And when I do work out, I listen to podcasts, I listen to audibles. Whatever it is, I've got something in my ears that I'm learning from, YouTube videos. And then almost anytime I'm driving, same thing. But I just became obsessed with learning knowledge. And I've kind of, I guess, entrepreneurship, sales, marketing, social media, personal branding, those would be kind of the skill sets, but I also like to study biographies and people, history, what these people did to find success, the mistakes they made. You can have a mentor in books, in podcasts, learning people's stories, YouTube videos, all those things you can learn from. It's like having a mentor, basically. Then reading physical books, but all of that thing, just building the habit of learning, however you're going to do it, whether it's in person in class or online course or listening to podcasts, informative podcasts, reading informative biographies or books on self-development, business, whatever that is. That is a huge habit. Also, taking care of my health is another one. Going to the gym, exercise, eating somewhat right, being aware of what you're eating. That's a huge one. Habit that I wish I started earlier. And then thinking long term. So thinking about the future. And that's gonna roll into our next one, but thinking long term instead of day by day, week by week. How is this decision, this investment, this purchase gonna affect me years down the road? Is it getting me further? Is it on my goals, closer to my goals? But those are some habits that really, whatever you're trying to do, learning something, getting further in your skill set or learning a new skill set, that's going to increase your income. It's going to make you more valuable to the world. So that's going to help you, everybody, your family. It's going to help everybody, your employer, your clients, whatever that situation is. That's going to advance you, make you more valuable to the world. Health, that's something I kind of started thinking because of my family. Like, I want to be there for my great grandkids, and Ty Lopez says it best. What is it? The five pillars of the good life. Good life. It's health, wealth, love, and happiness. Four, I guess. Unless I'm forgetting one. So your health, wealth, love, and happiness. And if you get, I don't remember if it's 2 or 3 of those right, you're probably going to get the other ones start falling into place once you start thinking about it. So something else I would have thought of at 25 is my money mindset. If you start investing into something in your 20s or as soon as possible, today, tomorrow, however old you are, the sooner you start investing, that compound interest over time is going to accumulate into something. This is, again, thinking in the long term, taking $100 a month or $100 a week or whatever it is and putting that in the S&P 500 or putting into a savings account or, putting it towards gold or silver or Bitcoin or putting that into a fund to put towards real estate investment or something like that. Just a small investment over time is going to turn into something huge. If you go to thinking about when you're 70 years old and you're needing some income, you're not working as much anymore and all this. If you would have started earlier, you would have been a lot further along. So thinking about money, thinking about investing, thinking about the long term, that's something you definitely need to start as soon as possible. Relationships, this is something I did not know at 25, and we talk about it so much on the show. Everything is based around who you know. What you know is good. You need to have a good skill set, provide value. But if you don't know the right people, you're never going to get the opportunities to put your skill set out there, put it into action, really, really shine. So relationships and your circle affects your ceiling. So who are you spending time with? Who are you talking to? A big one is who you compare yourself to. Are you comparing yourself to a bunch of losers? And you're like, man, I'm the best person in this friend group because these are all losers and I'm doing pretty good. Are you comparing yourself to people ahead of you and you're like, man, I've got to level up because these people, they're really doing it. They're really successful in different areas of life. But having those relationships, get out there. Brad Lee says the more hands you shake, the more money you make. And I would have to say that's a pretty good saying. pretty true saying. Getting out there and networking with successful people, other people in business, other people in your area, other people ahead of you in life, hanging out with mentors, stuff like that, and it's cool to be around people where the conversation is different. You're talking about how to grow your business, how to grow in life, how to be more successful, how to better yourself. So get out there and build those relationships with people, and it's going to advance you. It's going to advance everything. Your health, your wealth, your happiness. Being around the right people is huge. I would say if you're out there, you're 25, you're in your 20s, or if you're older, if you're in your 30s or whatever, if you're out there listening to this and you're not happy with your life, I would start looking at first of all, what's going to make you happy? What is success to you? You've got to think about that first. What do you want out of life? What would be your dream life? Figure that out, and then you can reverse engineer it. And I think what's going to help you is just is those small habits. Is just thinking about, start learning, start getting around the right people and learning, listening to books, listening to podcasts, listening to creative, self-development things, reading books. It's going to change your way of thinking, and it's really going to, it all ties in together. Like it's just finances, health, your happiness, your personal life, your business, it all ties in together. So when you start really thinking about that stuff, that's what's gonna kind of snowball effect, and all this stuff is gonna start getting better. A really good exercise that I did one time in an event, I think I've talked about it before, but is to close your eyes and think about your dream life and get as specific as possible. What do you look like? Where are you at? Where do you live? What's your house look like? What are you driving? What is your wife? What does your spouse look like? Do you have kids? Do you not have kids? Just get as specific as possible. And then what is it going to take to get me there? And then start doing it. It's easy when you sit here and talk about it, but you got to get out there and do it. So y'all get out there and do it. Try to live your dream life. I hope this helped you. The success formula I wish I knew when I was 25. We'll see y'all next time.